DJ's gonna kill this part. Rufio on the beat. Troy Ave make the cipher complete. No low.
You never seen nothing like this. Splash Brothers with the aim. I wish a nigga would, boy. A nigga sleeping with your missus, nigga call me Young Mellow, cause scoring is my shit, boy. I'm CP3 cause I be dishing and handling the rock, chef cooking with the pot, boy. It's all about the motherfucking money. It's all about the motherfucking money. It's all about the motherfucking money. It's all about the motherfucking money.
I be in the hood, drop regular. Toilet paper in my purse cause I'm shitting. 94th and Wilmore in the kitchen. Cooking birds, niggas saying thanks for giving. On the Schwarzenegger on from the whipping. On the Schwarzenegger on from the whipping. One reply to you niggas, sneak this. Suck a dick. When you see me, know I'm gripping.
You never seen nothing like this. Splash Brothers with the aim. I wish a nigga would, boy. A nigga sleeping with your missus, nigga call me Young Mellow, cause scoring is my shit, boy. I'm CP3 cause I be dishing and handling the rock, chef cooking with the pot, boy. It's all about the motherfucking money. It's all about the motherfucking money. It's all about the motherfucking money. It's all about the motherfucking money.
No limit to my money, I should get a tank. They walk me through the back, entering the bank. Base running errands, so I'm giving Hank. That's a hit, had him hit, lead a nigga blank. He got 6 feet, I got 6 figures. Nothing less than 6 shots coming out the hip. Life a trip, life a gamble, I'm a big chip. $1,000 hand risk later, bitch nigga.
You never seen nothing like this. Splash Brothers with the aim. I wish a nigga would, boy. A nigga sleeping with your missus, nigga call me Young Mellow, cause scoring is my shit, boy. I'm CP3 cause I be dishing and handling the rock, chef cooking with the pot, boy. It's all about the motherfucking money. It's all about the motherfucking money. It's all about the motherfucking money. It's all about the motherfucking money.
More money, more problems, big said it best. If you got a problem with me, better wear vest. A fully's fucking hot slugs flying out the tech. I put a couple hot slugs all in your chest. I be strapped like them white boys that climb rocks. One call, I have a nigga in a palm box. Young Lido, man, I'm known for selling dime rocks. My bitch is down, but I still let a 9 pop.
You never seen nothing like this. Splash Brothers with the aim. I wish a nigga would, boy. A nigga sleeping with your missus, nigga call me Young Mellow, cause scoring is my shit, boy. I'm CP3 cause I be dishing and handling the rock, chef cooking with the pot, boy. It's all about the motherfucking money. It's all about the motherfucking money. It's all about the motherfucking money. It's all about the motherfucking money.
What's good, everybody? Y'all know who it is. It's your boy, the Grandmaster Troll, here to give you guys some of the best trolling content YouTube has to offer. Shout out to the Reject Army, Nif Nods, dishwashers, bedwetters, the factors of the Black Order. But most importantly, witness the power in the mic. That is the most dangerous troll on YouTube. We got some things to talk about today. I tried to set up my studio a little bit differently. Let me know if you can hear me, because I got the microphone behind me right there. But I'm going to try to do something a little bit differently. Change the setup a little bit. Plus, I like this better because I'm actually able to stream, because when I'm facing the desk, the camera is too dark and you really can't see. But now I should be in high def. I'm looking at the playback right here. I got my backup computer, so now I can actually see the chat because it's right in front of me, and I could really start the cooking. But y'all see the title of this stream right here: why your black male leaders in the sphere. We know who they are. You know, the BGS Itmores of the world, the O'Sheas, the Obsidians, the Kevin Samuels, the Bernard Rileys, even dudes like Edward Anderson have somehow become prominent leaders in this space. And of course, you got the lead attorney, Dennis Sperling, and others who are growing. We gotta talk about why they won't teach you about stocks, crypto, and real estate. We're gonna talk a little bit of shit. We're going to be educational, and whenever you being educational, the numbers are going to be low. I got 22 people watching, 23, 19 likes, good ratio, but some of them likes came in before the stream even started, so support the channel, because I'm going to move a little bit differently, because I was sitting back during my last live stream, you know. I dropped the link so people could come on, they could, you know, say their piece, you know, have quote-unquote dope conversations. And whenever I drop the StreamYard link, you know, the same thing happens over and over and over again. And last night, or the other night where I had a panel and people came on, I already knew what was about to happen, because we had Bullets Gotti up there. We had Big J Triple X. We had the Village Arsonist. We had Taz Exclusives. We had AC Star. The only person missing that would have set it off is if Rudette would have been up there. But we had all these intelligent brothers up there, you know, of different backgrounds, you know, from across different parts of the country. They all got up there. And one problem as black men, as I'm freezing right here, let me know if you can still see me, or is it just my computer? I think it's just my computer. You gotta change up the computer. Hold on. Let me set up the cell phone real quick so I can know my stream is good. Okay, we should be back. But I had all these brothers up there, you know, different parts of the world, different backgrounds, different ages and whatnot. And the same thing happens over and over and over again. It seems as though True Be Hurtin' says RBR was missing it. I guess RBR is another person who would have muddied the waters, made things a little bit more disorganized. But the same thing happens over and over and over again on these panels. Dudes cannot communicate. They can't listen. They're more focused on what they want to say as opposed to what the other person is saying. They can't refrain from cutting each other off. You know, you got people singing melodies in the background, and of course we get the arguments, we get the insults, we talking about people's wives, calling people's wives ugly, and we saying people's wives can't be black because they're from Cuba, which, I mean, when you think about these panels that happens on GMT, and the reason I sit back, because one, I don't like arguing with Negroes. I do enough of that at my job, refereeing. People want to argue calls, and I don't even argue on the basketball court. I make the call. If you don't like the call, hey, you gotta deal with it, but the game's gonna keep going. I'm not gonna argue with you. So I take that same approach with my YouTube channel, but I'm just tired of people hopping on panels, arguing, cutting each other off, changing the topics, and really not talking about anything of value. And that's what's going on in the black manosphere. There's a lot of dudes in the space. They don't talk about things of value. Now, they talk about relationships and talk about dating and mating. Now we're back to talking about Pookie and Ray Ray. We talking about going mainstream. And this is supposed to be a space for black male empowerment. Let's see who we got in the chat. We got Cool Gent, we got Sexy Red, Candy, Koya L. Okay, that's Sequoia L. She done changed her name, and I finally just caught on. We got Sequoia L in the chat. We got Sugar Bum, John the Analyst. We see Reed Jones, Jalen, the Man of Storm. But they have these conversations that really don't bring empowerment to the group that they say that they're fighting for, that they're trying to give advice to. No, I guess brothers need information to keep them from toxic women and toxic relationships, which, I mean, if you can't see a toxic person from a mile away and stay away from them, you may need to go talk to a therapist yourself and, and get your problem solving skills up to par. Because that's something you're supposed to learn at a very young age, who to stay away from, what people not to get involved with. That's something you should have learned back in elementary, high school, middle school. And we got dudes 40, 50, 30 years old, and they still on the first steps of life. We got Koya L. She says, stop exposing me, G&T. You see, Koya L., all you gotta do, so you can't take Sequoia and then take the SE out of Koya and then act like people not gonna know who you are. People are gonna know who you are. That's Sequoia L in the chat. But you got dudes out here, they haven't gotten by the basic steps. So since they haven't gotten by the basic steps, your black male leaders who are supposed to be leading you to glory, saving you from the gynocracy, well, Gabe, they get let off the hook because some of these dudes 60, 50 years old, and they claim one of the tools you can use to save yourself from the gynocracy is to get your money right. And at this point, considering that black wealth in a couple of decades is projected to be $0, we gotta start looking at these old people, these so-called master teachers of the world who are supposed to be leading brothers down a path to glory. We gotta ask ourselves, why are we talking about BWs and the same mundane topics over and over again? It's the topic, same topic, different BW. Then the next year, another BW gets hot on YouTube. She does something that gains her some clout, some attention, and we gotta make the same rebuttal videos with the same talking points. And I know why y'all do it. I know why they do it. We got Jalen, he says, shake my head, he's not a feminist. We got Tech Nonstop in the building, he says, thanks GMT, your message is to get us to be better people. Again, I just want y'all to be better people. But they give you the same talking points over and over, and I know why they do it. Because there's money involved with this whole gender war and gender dating wars and who should do what. I mean, there's money in it. I mean, there's a prominent YouTuber. He rose up to 1 million subscribers and now he's doing music videos with your boy Future, even though the people that he used to run with in this space used to talk mad trash about the rapper Future because he had all these different baby mamas and kids out of wedlock, but now he doing videos and your thought leaders have no problems with it. We got Rollo says they sold out like slaves. We got Baller X in the building. We got Sigma American Arcana in the building. Okay, we got people changing their names all of a sudden. It looks like we got Brother Ray in the building. Salute to Brother Ray. We got Beige. Negress says obsessed about women's eyelashes and acrylic nails. We got Tech Nonstop. He says, for the love of money is the root of all evil. Sugar Bum says they be online crying about women like hoes every day that they say they don't want. I mean, true. They do it and they going to keep doing it. But I saw something very interesting happen. I saw my brother actually go on to the BGS Itmore's platform as they were having this circle jerk about the whole Nicki Minaj, Kevin Samuels, and BW debate. He says, why do we waste our time talking about stuff that doesn't mean anything? Why don't we talk about, stocks, bonds, and crypto? And to which BGS Itmore and Edward Anderson responded, he says, why are you trying to control what we're talking about? And he said, well, this is supposed to be a space for black male empowerment. I think talking about these topics will bring way more value to the brothers who you claim to be advocating for than to be talking about Nicki Minaj. And they said, fair enough. Okay, you want to talk about stocks. Talk about stocks. And the dude, I guess he didn't have either the knowledge, or maybe he was expecting the person who was running the panel to lead the conversation. But nobody wanted to talk about the business side of things. They wanted to, stay on the BWs. And they didn't want to be shamed from talking about the BWs, which is all fair. Somebody says you got disabled old men telling other men how to get women. Something like that. Somebody says this space is a joke. But that's the kind of stuff that goes on. And I remember when I first came across this online community, and I actually gotta give credit to these so-called thought leaders, to the BGS Itmores of the world, Angry Man, O'Shea's, Obsidians. Who else back in the day had a channel? Well, those four guys right there, I gotta give them credit, for creating an online community in which people can conversate and communicate and build friendships, relationships. Some people have even gotten married just by being on these panels, being in chat rooms, and being able to communicate and share information and also make a little bit of money. So I do gotta give them credit for creating that. That's one thing I will do. If I could give credit to them brothers for doing anything, if I can, give them respect for doing anything, it would be for creating an online community of all you Negroes that are in the chat and who watch these channels on a day in and day out basis. That's one thing I can do. Somebody says, I've heard O'Shea bought some new wigs. Kevin Kelly says, they did not create it. It was already here. Stop effing saying that. Kevin Kelly, now, it's possible because YouTube was already here. But from my viewpoint, my standpoint, when I first got on YouTube, I would just watch content creators. They would post a pre-recorded video. I would watch the video. Then after that video was over, I would go watch a different video. But there wasn't a community in which people were doing live streams and they were bringing people up on panels and having conversations, and you could have debates and talk about a myriad of topics, especially concerning issues in the community, and be able to have that in real time with hundreds of people throughout the country of America. That's all I'm saying now. That there could, because there was blog talk. I wasn't around for the blog talk days, but from what I saw on YouTube, I will give them that credit. Let's see, we got Jay Shine Randoms in the building. He says, so Gabe said something that wasn't true. What did your boy Gabe say? Let's scroll back up. He says, they don't talk about business because they're not successful in business. It makes sense. Can't talk about something they don't know about. And then Jay Shine says, that's not true, Gabe. Negroes like Grinch do it every day and people believe it. So we are going to talk about all of the reasons. And Gabe may have pointed out a reason why people don't talk about stocks, crypto, real estate, wealth building, life insurance, 401ks, RIAs, and all of that stuff. We gotta break down that why these topics aren't talked about in the community. We will talk about anything else. We will talk about Big Booty Brenda back in high school. We talk about all the prom dates we could and couldn't get back in prom. No, we talk about how y'all baby moms put y'all on child support and made y'all slaves to the gynocracy and tried to ruin your life. We talk about those topics every day. But when it comes to talking about stuff that actually make the world go around and shapes the world that we live in, we don't want to talk about that. We got Pretty Black Magic 2022 in the building. She says GMT has a good point there. Somebody says Obsidian is the old simp begging ninja from Dirty Philly. So we got an Obsidian hater in the building. But the reason why we don't talk about stocks, crypto, real estate, wealth building, one of the reasons I believe is that it just doesn't get the viewership. I mean, you gotta talk about topics that you could relate to the audience with, that could, bring viewership, because with viewership brings the numbers, and then stuff gets promoted and it brings more people in, and that's more people who could possibly support the platform, whether if you're selling merchandise, courses, or even collecting money via Cash App or Super Chats. You gotta get people to watch, because you're not going to talk about stocks and bonds and only get 15 people, and you're trying to ask 15 people to support you, as if you could talk about Big Booty Brenda, Pookies, and Ray Rays and make beef with other YouTubers and get 200 and 300 people to watch. And now you can ask 200 and 300 people to support your platform. Now that 200 and 300, you may get 10%. But if you get 10% of that 15, that's only 1 or 2 people supporting. Well, there you go. People's not going to talk about stocks and crypto and real estate. Now, another reason why they don't talk about it, because we need those numbers to grow. So in order to talk about stock, crypto, and real estate, you got to talk about that topic over and over and over again to make your audience used to that kind of content. You could talk about stocks January 4th and then not talk about stocks till March 2nd. Then in between, you talking about BWs all day. People is coming for the BW hate content. They coming for the gender war. They coming for the beef. They coming for the drama. You done got in it with this YouTuber for the whole month of February. Then February, the beef is finally over. Now you want to talk about stocks, and people is just not used to it. We got Dio Brando. He says GMT taught me how to use Bitcoin to post ads on my pimping shit. Okay. Koya L says, these males don't care about money. They want the economy to crash so they can finally get some respect from women. Laugh out loud. What about investing? Get your money right. Cops and no, not warrants. That's important. Okay. Somebody says, I'm not into stocks, ATM, but my knowledge of crypto trading transcends all markets. So, OD Shomo is a crypto expert, self-proclaimed crypto expert. We got Vic Creek 999 says Black Beef during Black History Month. Okay. We're gonna talk about Black History Month coming up. Definitely gotta talk about Black History Month coming up. But you also gotta talk about stocks over and over and over and over and over again. Now there's a whole financial sector. There's a couple of brothers who do good in that financial sector. And as I talk about stocks and cryptos more often on this channel, I'm gonna highlight those brothers. There's also even brothers in this space. I gotta give credit to those brothers in this space who talk about crypto and talk about stocks and wealth, you know. Gotta talk about Solo TV 84. You know, he's doing this thing with crypto. His channel is 90% crypto now, maybe 95% crypto, you know. He's giving great knowledge about crypto. You got the Crypto Game podcast. He's talking about crypto. You got Real Deal Financial. No, he talks about real estate. Talks about building credit. Talks about stocks and other stuff like that. But these brothers, when you compare to their notoriety in the space for what they're talking about in the business game, you won't see other content creators reach out and collab with them. We got Jalen, the man of storm. He says, GMT, I tried to help black men into getting to stocks and real estate. So I guess Jalen was helping people get into stocks and real estate as well. We got Nisha by Nature in the building. Brother Way says BWs can be the enemy if you're using them to feed yourself. GMT is a real Negro teaching Negroes how to boss up financially instead of tricking. Yes, dudes gotta stop tricking. You know, I was watching that Kevin Samuels video with Future. This is again, we got somebody big on YouTube with one of the biggest hip hop rappers. Now we're gonna collab. We're gonna create a video. Now we can help out the community. We could talk about anything in the world. They dropped this premiere of what to expect. It seems that Future has a problem with spending millions of dollars on women, and maybe it's causing him some problems. Maybe the conversation will shift into what Future can do with those $2 to $3 million, and maybe other people will follow them because Future is a social media influencer. Kevin Samuels is a social media influencer. Maybe they could influence their audience to be more wise with money. I know it's not going to happen, but the opportunity is there and the video is going to drop. And once that video drops, I will be doing a review on it. And I already know it's going to be on some bullshit. And what it is, I'm going to troll them. And then guys like Village Arsonist is going to come on the panel and say, I'm tearing down the black man. And all I want is to see black men help and be an example for other black men to follow. I already know what's going to happen. We got Kevin Kelly says those dudes will not do videos on stocks and crypto because they need to have an upper hand. It's called selfishness, ego, and arrogance. That's a fair point. But I don't see if you would teach your fellow brothers about stocks and crypto, knowing that if you're investing into something and putting money into something, it creates value and you get more money. And if your fellow brother invests in that same thing and that brings the value of what you just bought up, you're doing yourself a disservice by not investing in whatever products they may be, because the more people that invest into crypto or a particular stock and don't sell it, the value goes up and everybody wins. But I digress. But I remember when I came onto the space and I watched BGS it more. This is back in the days when when he was running with the Black Brain Trust. Most of the time, you had Dollar Wheel, Complex Design, Grizzly. Who else? What's that other dude's name? His name passes me by. But they would talk about Bitcoin and they would show the charts, the run lines, the trend lines, and they tried to break down Bitcoin from a chart perspective. And they would try to predict the bottom when, if it hit this line, it would bounce and you could buy Bitcoin and you could try to make a quick profit. The problem with that is they, from what I saw on the stream, now it's possibly that they did, but they didn't really explain what Bitcoin was, what was its use case, what was the end goal for Bitcoin. That's right, Ray Jackson. Mike V was one of them, but there was another dude whose name I forget that's part of it. Let's see if I can look it up real quick, because I want to give this brother some credit right here. Gotta give this brother some credit. Let me go ahead and see if I can remember this dude's name. But Mike V was definitely one of them. Now, all of a sudden you want to act funny. Come on. What was his name? Let's see. Nope, nobody put his name in the chat yet. What was his name? Go to the Black Brain Trust channel. Okay, who do we got? Okay, that's his name. Lionel is his name. Lionel was the guy I was talking about. Gabe got it. Lionel was the dude I was talking about. But these dudes, they would get up there, they would talk about Bitcoin. They wouldn't explain what Bitcoin was, what was its use case, how much money people were making in Bitcoin, why you should put your money in Bitcoin as an investment. They talked about Bitcoin as a short-term play because they were trying to predict the price of the coin on a short-term basis by looking at the run lines and trend lines. So of course people got in back in 2017. They got in at that time at the high point of the market, and then the market crashed, and then people lost 50, 60, 70% of their money. People got out of Bitcoin, And then recently in 2020, after that 2 to 3 year bear market, Bitcoin rose as far as almost just up under $70,000. But if they would have talked about Bitcoin from an investing aspect, a long-term aspect, I think they could have got more brothers into Bitcoin, and they would have weathered the storm. And if they would have taught it from an investing standpoint, because these dudes who I have to assume they have money in the market. I have to assume BGS Itmore, 60-something years old, had to have money in the market for the past 30 years. I have to assume he has long-term investments. I have to assume that he's planning for a retirement. if it would have been explained, there's going to be times where the asset that you invest in, the value of it may fall 50%, but if you believe in that asset that you're investing in, when it falls 50%, you could buy more of it at a lower price. Pretty Black Magic 22 says, what about buying gold, silver? That will be useful if the dollar collapses. At this time, I don't see the dollar collapsing. Now, gold, silver, people do buy it. People do get appreciation from those assets. And sometimes those assets, gold and silver, may even outperform the S&P. They might outperform the NASDAQ. So I can't hate on gold and silver. It's just, for me at the time right now, gold and silver is not for me. But if there's a gold and silver expert who knows how to get in gold and silver and could break down what it is and the valuation of gold and silver, I would love to be able to hear from that person so they could share their knowledge. Perfect Billis says there are more asset classes than crypto, though you have equities, futures, and fixed income, etc. Candy says, does anybody have crypto.com? I can't log in or reach CS. I do have crypto.com. I bought Shiba when it first got put on crypto.com, but I didn't like the transfer fees and the fees that crypto.com was charging, so I moved all my Shiba onto a different platform, and I haven't used crypto.com since. So the thing I want to talk about, let's see if I can pull them up real quick. Because when we talk about content creation, let me make sure I can see my screen. There we go. When we talk about content creation, we got to talk about the big players in the so-called financial sector. We always got to compare, because one thing about life is what you're doing is always going to be compared to what somebody else is doing. If somebody sets the bar here, human nature, you're going to want to surpass that bar. So we got to go look and see who is setting the bar in the financial sector. Let's see if I could pull it up. Give me 1 second. Gabe A says, salute, I watch every video even if I don't know what's going on all the time at Bala X. Okay. Brother Ray says gold and silver is an actual currency. Crypto is non-tangible and purely speculative. It could bottom out at any time. He thinks crypto could bottom out at any time. I would be so excited if Bitcoin lost 90%, 95% of its value, because I believe in Bitcoin. I could drop $100 in and maybe I could get, half of a Bitcoin with that $100 if it dropped 90 to 95%. But let's see if I can find it right here. Okay, we found the channel. Now I gotta find a video to break down, because we gotta talk about sneak that real quick as it plays the ad. We gotta talk about an opportunity that may be getting missed. We gotta talk about an opportunity that may be getting missed, because dudes in this space, they talk about they're on YouTube. They talk about all these different topics. Let's see. Is that the video I want? No, I need a video where they got all four of them. Here we go. This is a video. They got all four of them. But dudes be on YouTube 24/7. I know some of y'all be at work, and as y'all working, you got your headphones on. You listening to this person's panel. You listening to that person's panel. Some of y'all even join panels at work when your boss ain't looking. I know what y'all Negroes do. But then y'all see a certain Negro or even a female that seems to be on panels 24/7. They on this person panel, they on that person panel, and they not making no money. But when we go to the financial sector, and we're gonna try to tie this into as to why your black leaders in the sphere won't talk about money. They won't talk about business. No, they would rather talk about gender war topics, swirling, who's having sex with Pookie and Ray Ray, who just became the latest single mom, who on OnlyFans starting it up, all these topics that really don't mean nothing. I always ask myself, why don't these dudes talk to maybe somebody like Real Deal Financial, Crypto Gang Podcast, Solo TV 84, or whatever black YouTuber who's strictly about stocks and bonds? Why don't they introduce that person in the space and let that person lead the conversation when it comes to financials? They let Kevin Samuels lead the conversation when it came to black male's image. Then they let Kevin Samuels lead the debate when it comes to black BW's dating outlook. They let Obsidian lead the charge for the non-select male. They let the Angry Man lead the charge for street dudes. And it seems like all these different content creators were put in charge to lead a certain sector of black YouTube. But nobody's been put at the head of the financial conversation. There's no person who talks stocks, bonds that's able to go to this person panels and this person panel and just have a conversation about financials. And the reason why I think that hasn't happened and why your master teachers are selling you short is because when these dudes get old, 50, 60 years old, and they're supposed to have that retirement ready, they're supposed to have a well-built portfolio, the first question that Negroes is going to ask them, the first question Negroes is going to ask them, Business-Minded Talk TV, they're going to ask you, what does your portfolio look like? And how did your portfolio get that big? That's the first question. Somebody says, is all things Netta Jean says is earn your leisure manosphere. Earn your leisure is not manosphere. In fact, I wouldn't even consider earn your leisure black YouTube. I would categorize earn your leisure as a prominent channel in the financial sector. But earn your leisure is definitely not manosphere. But again, nobody within the manosphere would even reach out to earn your leisure and have them join the pack. It seems like if you want financial talk, you have to go to those sectors. Because they're just simply not interested and they don't see the value. But with these old Negroes, the first questions people would ask them, what does your portfolio look like? How did it got that big? What stocks, what investments did you buy? How did that stock and investment grow 5,500%? Who told you about said investment? What made you get in said investment? How rocky, how volatile was said investment made? And how did you have the discipline to keep holding that all of these years? See, those would be questions that would be asked to some of the OGs in the space. And like Gabe A said, he doesn't believe that some of the OGs in the space have a portfolio to speak of. And when you don't have a portfolio to speak of, if you don't own the very thing, stocks, crypto, real estate, if you don't own it or have a knowledge in it, how can you talk about it? See, what these Negroes in this space, what they have a knowledge in, what they've been in, what they have are dysfunctional relationships with BWs, so they have become experts in dysfunctional relationships with BWs because that's all they know. That's all they know is dysfunctional relationships with BWs. They seen their homeboys be in dysfunctional relationships. Their fathers been in dysfunctional relationships. And when all you know is dysfunctional relationships, when you get on YouTube, that's what you're going to talk about. Dysfunctional relationships. We got Sugar Bum says, let the men in the chats tell it. They all high earning and high value. You see, Sugar Bum, you see when Kevin Samuels got doxxed, and it wasn't by me, it was somebody else who put up the information. You know, they found where he went to high school at. They saw that he was a so-called male cheerleader on the pep squad. And then they saw, and then they pulled up his divorce papers, and the divorce papers only said he was making $900 a month. And then they pulled up his child support papers, and they saw all that child support debt that he owed, and he just recently paid off that child support debt. And that was after he blew up on YouTube, where he could generate 4 figures a night by doing live streams. That's what it took Kevin Samuels to get on a positive financial footing. But if you were around Kevin Samuels when he was talking about black males' image and how to build them up, he was telling everybody he was a high value, high earning man in corporate America. But when they pulled up the paperwork didn't match what he was saying. And then when Grandmaster Troll started doxing certain Negroes, and I put out where they live, I pulled up their bankruptcies, I pulled up their tax liens, their evictions. A lot of Negroes in this space were terrified because at any moment they could have been exposed. When you had people saying that they lived in Baldwin Hills, they lived in this high-end neighborhood, and then when GMT put the information out that showed that they owned the house in the corner in the hood of Inglewood, and the house that they own on Inglewood has been in and out of foreclosure the past 2 to 3 years. Well, Sugar Bum, all that high value and high earning talk, all of that comes into question because the next question is going to be asked If you're a high earning, high value man, why is the house that you live in, that you should be getting ready to pass down to your children, why is it in and out of foreclosure? Are you healthy financially? You told us you lived in this high-end neighborhood called Baldwin Hills, but the paperwork right here says you live in the hood, where we could actually pull up the property value and compare that property value from that address in Inglewood to that address in Baldwin Hills, and the math don't match up. What's going on, Master Teacher? And then when Grandmaster Troll pulled that out, when I pulled that information out, all you heard people was saying, man, you trying to get people to stalk and come kill people at their houses. Nah, I wasn't doing that. I was just simply putting the information out to tell a story that would be used for future live streams, but more importantly, to hold you Negroes accountable about what you say on YouTube. I mean, we got high value dudes getting evicted, bankruptcies, credit messed up, getting sued by everybody for this, that, and the third, but they supposed to be high value. Now, if you not high value, if you still working, if you still living check to check, if you still struggling, you still trying to get by, you still trying to find your way, there's nothing wrong with that, because there's a lot of people out here. There's a lot of people out here trying to find their way. A lot of people out here trying to find their way. And if you're one of them, own it. Say, you know what? I would like to be a homeowner. At the moment, I'm not a homeowner, but that's what I'm working towards. And if you're working towards being a homeowner, the Manosphere, that's about black male empowerment, they should be putting you on the path or putting you in contact with somebody who can help you with that goal. If you're broke, or you just starting to invest, there should be somebody in the Manosphere that they could point out that you could go to help, and they will help you. But unfortunately, everybody gotta pretend like they got it. Everybody gotta pretend like they live in a $1 million house. They got 6-7 figures in the bank. We gotta put on the Gucci. We gotta drive the latest Mercedes Benz. We gotta have designer clothes on. We gotta stunt on other Negroes. And the whole time, it was all a facade. It was all fake. Your boy Kevin Samuels had to fake it until he made it on YouTube, when he could have kept it real with us and the people would have supported him regardless. But that's where we are at. But why don't dudes... What would happen if dudes did talk about stocks, bonds, and crypto? You see, we gotta talk about the financial sector, and I'm gonna pull up some important characters right here, because I want to be able to see the space improve. So as we pull it up right here, I'll show this one right here. We got the millennial money. Now, you guys may know some of these individuals right here. We got Meet Kevin. He's on the top left with the green hair. He just ran for governor of California. He didn't win. We got Stefan Graham right here. We got Andre. and we got Jeremy on the bottom right. Thing about these individuals right here. Thing about these individuals right here is all 4 of these individuals are verified millionaires. Let me say it one more time for the Negroes in the back. These 4 dudes are verified millionaires. I look at the black manosphere. I see all of these high earning, high value men that Sugar Bum has heard about. Do you see any of these high value, high earning men who are verified millionaires giving access to their audience, their portfolios in real estate, crypto, stocks, and even their business that they run as a way to inspire their audience to gain knowledge and follow in their footsteps? Do we see this in the black manosphere? Have we seen 4 millionaires on a panel who have a channel dedicated to teaching people about finances and putting them on a proper track? We got Sugar Bum says they're frauds. Now all of a sudden they're frauds now. We got stuff on the educated Tyrone. He says Kevin's portfolio was bonkers when I last saw it. He had like $20 million or more. He also says, I like financial YouTubers who show receipts. Sugar Bum says, white man about they money, period. We got 4 verified millionaires. You can even go back on their channels when they first started investing, where they weren't millionaires and they picked wrong investments. They broke down why they thought the investment was right, and when that investment flopped, they then broke down why that investment flopped. They then went over their investment strategy, how they changed it, how they tweaked it, how they did things better. And they got a whole journey from where they weren't millionaires to now where they're multi-millionaires. Do we see this in the black manosphere? We got dudes who are close to retirement age. Dudes are getting ready to kick the can. You know, they got grandchildren that they gotta take care of because their daughters, unfortunately, are single moms. Are they good for retirement? Based on the paperwork that we've seen, it's highly questionable. Now, we had YouTubers, prominent YouTubers. One was at the Manosphere meetup, keynote speaker. A couple of years ago, he couldn't pay a cell phone and or light bill. Had to come on YouTube and write a message that tugged at the brother's heartstrings to make him dig in their pockets and help him. A grown man, 50 plus years old, to pay a cell phone bill and a light bill. And we got dudes on here who are verified millionaires. But we on YouTube talking about black empowerment, or what I should say, we were talking about black male empowerment Now we're talking about black love, because if we kept talking about black male empowerment, receipts would have to be shown. Let's see. Stefan, the educated Tyrone, says GMT, I like Dollar Mike too. He's a younger black dude in his mid-20s, but he got like 30K invested. That's very impressive for a young dude who just started. He gonna be up 10 years. You see the educated Tyrone. If somebody would have told me, if one of these influential black men who were in my life told me about the power of stocks and investment, maybe in my 20s I would have had 30K. But it wasn't until YouTube got big, blew up, and they let all these people on the YouTube and they could talk about anything they want, and somehow the YouTube algorithm put me in the financial sector of YouTube, which was when I started taking investing in my financials seriously. We got Pretty Black Magic says GMT be eating that sweet cereal. So that Waffle Crisp cereal box, that's what I put my camera on. I put my camera on top of that box because my tripod is too big to fit in this area right here. So I put my camera on the box right there. So that box has been sitting there, but I do love my sweet cereal. No, this is the new one right here, the Cinnamon Sugar Krispies. I done bought 2 boxes. This is the second box. I got half the box to go. The thing about sweet cereal and the cereals that I like, you know, the different flavors, they always go out, you know. Cereals like this are only for a limited time, so I go to the cereal section and I'm looking for a particular cereal, and they never have that particular cereal, and I hate eating the standard, the regular Rice Krispies, the regular Frosted Flakes, the regular Captain Crunch. You know, I like to have my good cereal. But back to the stocks and things and whatever. Like I was saying, when you get older, you're supposed to have receipts. You're supposed to have paperwork that we could go back and track. And the thing about YouTube is you could show that information in a very fast fashion. Or you could show all your transactions. You could show the stocks, how much you're up, how much you're down, when did you buy, how much did you buy. You could even track if the stock was up at that time and you bought it super high, or if you bought it at the bottom and you got in, you timed the market perfectly. All that stuff is there, and we could talk about all that stuff and actually have a logical conversation about it. But it's highly questionable. It's highly questionable if these dudes have a portfolio to speak of. But with that said, I'm going to talk about, I'm going to get more in depth. I'm going to get more educational when we talk about these stocks and we talk about crypto and we talk about real estate. So give me 1 second. I'm going to try and set up my cell phone screen real quick. Let me make sure I ain't got no dirty messages on here. Make sure I ain't got no dirty messages on here. They may pop up in the notifications because these women out here, they love getting into GMT's DM. So just make sure everything's clean. Okay, we're good on that end. We're good on that end. Let's see if I can set this up on the fly. I'll take that back. I don't have to use my cell phone because I can pull it up on Google real quick. So I'm gonna go ahead and do it that way. So what you guys want to hear first? We got Stefan. He says they dropping gems, not worried about gimmicks. That's right. It's straight up gems. There's no short in the market. There's no puts. It's simply I'm buying this stock. I'm gonna break down this stock. This is the EPS. This is the forward PE. This is the proper valuation. This is how you give a valuation to this company. This is why it's a good buy. That's why I love dudes in the financial sector, because they get into the meat and potatoes. You know, it's less about philosophy, and it's more about meat and potatoes. So what do you guys want to hear about first? You guys want to hear about stocks, or do you want to hear about crypto? If you got a question, put it in the chat, and I'll do my best to come up with an answer. See what people want to hear about, crypto or stocks. Crypto or stocks. What do people want to hear about first? So we got Jalen in there acting the fool, it looks like. Look at that. Computer always tripping. Always tripping. Now I gotta follow the chat from my cell phone. So let me set that up real quick. You see, we got Sugar Bum. He says GMT got hella grays. You see? The reason why I got gray hair, because I got to deal with you Negroes on the basketball court. I even got one clip where I gave a dude a technical foul because he done slapped the ball out of my hand because he didn't like that I didn't call a foul for him. And I caught all of that on my GoPro. Maybe I'll show it on this channel, but I was supposed to do a breakdown of it and post it to my officiating channel. So y'all need to go over to Grandmaster Troll Officiating. I'm about to start putting content up over there. Been trying to put content on the Grandmaster Troll Racing, but every time I go shoot, I never like what I shoot, and I never put out a vlog, but that's going to change. That's going to change. So people want to hear about crypto first. Somebody says stocks, dividend stocks in particular. Okay. So I'm going to do crypto, and then I'm going to do dividend stocks. So crypto, what do I want to share on crypto? What are your questions about crypto? Does everybody know what crypto is? Does everybody know what crypto is? Let's see if I can pull it up real quick. There we go. So this is Coin Market Cap. It gives you a brief synopsis of the crypto market. It gives you the coins that are trending. It gives you the biggest gainers. So these stocks, I guess over the last 24 hours, they've went up the most over the past couple of days. It gives you the recently cryptos that's been added to the crypto market. And then it ranks the top crypto by their market cap. Market cap is just pretty much the valuation of said crypto. It gives you the price, how much it's up over the last 24 hours, 7 days. You get the volume, which is how much crypto is being traded over a 24-hour period. So that's bought and sold and everything in between. And then you get the circulating supply. Then you get a little chart the last 7 days. And I think it rates the last 100. Somebody said, why is it plummeting? Well, the reason why Bitcoin plummeted is because the valuation was too high and people were able to sell at a profit. It's like this, Candy. Let's say your favorite. Let me go back to my OBS real quick. Let's say your favorite box of cereal is being sold for $3.99. You buy 2 boxes for $3.99. You go out, you check it out at $3.99, and then you come back to the store, and the same box that you bought for $3.99 is being sold for $20.99. And you go back home and you got this box that you haven't opened and ate out of it, and you take that cereal and then you try and sell it, and you sell it for $20, well, you just made a $16 profit off the box of cereal. So everybody who's bought the box are now selling it, and people are buying it. Then next week you go back to the grocery store, and that box that you bought for $3.99 that you sold for $16.99, well, guess what? It's now on sale for 99 cents. That's right. Your favorite box of cereal is being sold for 99 cents. So what do? You buy more and more and more. Now you have a surplus. And now you're eating your favorite box of cereal for 99 cents. And then you go back to the store and that was being sold for $35. Are you going to buy this box of cereal for $35? You're not going to buy it for $35. So the price is going to go down. Are you going to buy it for $25? No, you're not going to buy it for $25. $15? No, you're not going to buy it for $15. $10 a box? You're not. So the price is going to go down, and eventually, once the supply meets the demand, that's going to be the proper valuation for this box of cereal right here. So as long as this box of cereal is trading at 99 cents, people are going to buy more boxes. When this box is selling at $10 a box, people aren't going to buy this box of cereal because it's not a fair valuation. So once Bitcoin reaches $67, people are going to sell that asset and take profits. But not many people is buying Bitcoin at $67,000, so the price is going to drop until it reaches a point to where the buyers meet the sellers. And that's why Bitcoin crashed. We got John the Analyst. He says, GNT, did you move? No, I didn't move. I'm in the same house. The only thing I did was flip-flop my camera. So instead of having my camera on the desk behind me, I flip-flop it, and now you can actually see the desk. You can see all of the... Hold on, let's see if I can move it. You can see all of the drones behind me, but you can see it's the same bed right here. I just 180 the camera, so now you guys can see my desk. And the reason I did that is because whenever I try to stream during the day, there's not enough sunlight that gets in because the blinds are behind me. But if I flip it and turn the light on, now the lighting is a bit better. But GMT did not move. So back to crypto. So now you gotta classify your cryptos. What cryptos are what. So you got your blue chippers, your Bitcoin, your Ethereums, your Cardanos, your XRPs, those with the higher market caps. You got your stable coins, which is your Tether, your USDC. So stable coins, they basically gonna be worth the dollar. So if you buy, say, Bitcoin at $20,000 and you wanna sell your Bitcoin because you think the price of Bitcoin is gonna go lower, You trade it into USD, so now your 20,000 worth of Bitcoin is now worth 20,000 USDC. The reason why you want the 20,000 USDC is because the price of it won't go up or down. So if you think it's going to go down, it's a safe spot to put your Bitcoin. When you put it into USDC, you can even earn interest on it. So it's more of a safe way. If you think it's going to go down and you don't want to cash out, you just trade it into USDC and you just wait, and you could trade your USDC either back into Bitcoin, or you could trade it into other crypto. So those are your stable coins. And then all these other coins like Solana, Terra, Avalanche, I don't own, but those cryptos do different things. Then you got Polkadot and you got Dogecoin. Oh, Shiba is making a move up 10%, back up to 13. So it passed Polygon and Binance. Shiba, unfortunately, is my biggest holding so far. Then you got your meme coins. They're not really built on anything. It's just a meme where they're trying to give it some technical use, and they're trying to make it a cryptocurrency. They're trying to make it able to buy at certain spots, but the jury is still out on meme coins in my position. And then you have coins like Crypto.coin. What else? Crypto, Binance Coin, Binance USD. Well, that's just a stable coin. But coins like Crypto, Binance. What else? What else is there? A coin like that? VGX, KuCoin. What else is there? I'm looking through. Those are your exchange coins. So basically, if you want to buy crypto, you go on exchange like Coinbase or Crypto.com or Voyager or KuCoins, and they've created their own coin, and those coins do different things. I'll break that down later. Let's see. Somebody said Crow is gonna rock it. I guess people like Crow. I don't know much about Crow, but I did see it take off, and I thought about buying it. And whenever I think about buying a coin because it's taken off, I know it's at the top of the market, so it's not the perfect time to buy it. And I didn't buy it, and Crow did pull back a little bit, but the market recovered. So what are some of the cryptos you guys own? That's what GMT wants to know. What are some of the cryptos you guys own? And I guess I'll show you guys some of the cryptos that I own and why I bought them. So you go over to the little portfolio button. So the reason why I like CoinMarketCap, whenever I buy my cryptos, I get this chart right here, and it'll tell me the equity value of my crypto portfolio on a given date. So I could go back 24 hours, I could go back 7 days, I could go back 30 days, I could go back 90 days and play with the map and see what my portfolio was worth at a certain day. I could even go back and look at the all and see my journey from when I first bought my first crypto all the way into where it's at now, and I could better track the trades that I made. So somebody says Sheep, they own Sheep, Bitcoin, Crow, KCS, Solana, Cardano, and XRP. So of that list, I don't own Crow, KCS, or Solana, but I own everything else that he's got. But you're able to track your portfolio on a given day. I go back to that. Then you get the allocation. You can see the percentage of holdings. So if you want to stay balanced, if you want to stay well diversified, you can do that as well. Then you get the statistics. You get your all-time profit. I'm only up 1.5%. My best performer is She, and my worst performer is Dogecoin. But I go ahead and break down my portfolio and tell you everything I own. But before I do that, because we're going to be doing some real analysis. Let me go back to OBS real quick. Let's see, gonna open up another window. Okay. So now we'll be able to chart our journey, my crypto journey, so the people can see. Candy says her dad put her on Dogecoin, Mars, and Ethereum. I wish I would have gotten on Dogecoin, Mars. Or Elon Mars, whatever that meme coin is called. But I'll break down. So right now, Shiba Inu. See if you guys can see that. Shiba Inu is my biggest holding. It gives you the price, how much is up the last 24 hours. It gives you the equity. I have about $1,413 in SHE, 42 million. My profit on SHE, I'm up 337%, which is $1,000. Reason I bought SHE, I can't talk about SHE without talking about Dogecoin. When Dogecoin was blowing up, let's see if I could go to my transactions. When Dogecoin was blowing up back, what was that, February, March, April into May, I start buying it. I bought some on Robinhood, so those are pretty much all of the buys I did. I started off small, $123, $24. Then I went big at 34 cents. So it had got up to 70. It had got up to, I think the highest was for Dogecoin was 72 cents. So then the price started to drop. So as it dropped, I began buying. So it dropped to 46 cents. I bought. Got to 51. So it dropped to 46. And I saw it go up. So I went in. And then it just dropped. It dropped all the way down to the 30s. When it got to 34, I put another big chunk in. But Dogecoin, it pretty much kept dropping. I sold all of it. No, I bought it on the Robinhood app. And I didn't want my Dogecoin on the Robinhood app because I saw that I could get interest on it on Voyager. So I sold it all on the Robinhood app, and I had to buy it back in. And I bought it again on the Voyager app, but pretty much it's been dropping. And all these buys right here, the January, December, November, October, September, those are basically all of the interest payments I get. So I get interest on Dogecoin. So about every month I get 3.7 Dogecoin, which is about, well, now it's about 65 cents, but when it was higher before the crash, it was about $1. So I was getting Dogecoin. But I bought Shiba because I saw the community of Dogecoin, and I saw it, growing. So I bought Dogecoin, but unfortunately I was taking L's. So then I saw Shiba. I heard about Shiba. And I ended up buying Shiba at a point. Now, I had already bought Bitcoin and Ethereum and other cryptos before then. But I bought Shiba because I saw it. So I bought it on crypto.com. I think I bought $100 at first. And then I bought another 100. And then I probably put in between $350 to $450 into Shiba. I didn't want it to be too big in my portfolio because I just thought Bitcoin and Ethereum and Cardano and the blue chippers were better investments at the time. But little did I know that my $350 investment would turn into, at the top of Shiba's run, it turned into $3,500. So basically, every $100 that I put in, I made $1,000. Now, if you would have told me back when I first bought it that within 6 months of me buying SHI, for every $100 I would put in, it would make me $1,000, I would not have believed you, but that's what it did. So I'm basically seeing if SHI is going to hit 1 million. So my strategy with SHI, I wanted to get about 50 million, but unfortunately Shiba took off before I could get it to 50 million. But I'm going to see if this 42 million SHIs, I'm going to see if SHI could hit a penny. It may take 5 years for it because it's got to, more people got to buy it. The market cap's got to balloon, or coins have to get burned. There really isn't a strong use case for SHI. Some people are trying to use it for payments. They're trying to make NFTs off of it. They're trying to create a own blockchain for SHI. So I'm going to see what happens. But I don't plan on ever buying SHI again unless it falls close to the original price that I bought it at. So my second biggest holding and the most money that I put into crypto is VGX, the Voyager token. Gotta talk about the Voyager token. Why I bought the Voyager token. Let's see what people are saying in the chat. We got people making fun of. We got people in the chat making fun of BWs. Even when you talk about getting money, they will talk about BWs. But the reason I bought VGX is because that's the platform that I use to buy crypto. And when you buy VGX and you hold a certain number of VGX, you're in the VGX loyalty program, and you get an extra 0.5% on other cryptos that you stake or earn interest on. And there's only there's a minimum amount of supply of VGX that if everybody bought VGX coins, you wouldn't get that extra 0.5% or full percent or 1.5%, depending on what tier you're in on the loyalty program. So if you hold, I think I want to say, let me check my phone. If you own 500 VGX coins, you get an extra 0.5% interest on your VGX and other select cryptos. So basically, there's a use case for that crypto if you want to earn passive income through your crypto, which is something I like to do because I really don't trade in and out of positions yet. I'm thinking about doing it, but I want to have enough coins to where I'm past that threshold, because I don't want to say have like 800 coins and try and sell 600 and then be below that threshold to get interest and then keep trying to time the market and buy back in. I don't want to do that. I feel if I could accumulate enough coins, get up to 1,000, well, now I could sell 400 VGX and try and play and time the market when I think the market's going to go down or go up. So if VGX were to explode, now I know I'm at the top. I could sell that. I will still get my interest because I hold the bare minimum to be in the loyalty program, so I still get my interest. And if VGX goes down, I could then buy more VGX at a lower price and get more VGX that way. So that's one. That's one. We got Man Code TV says, I'm in crypto big time. I'm in heavy. Just waiting to see what's gonna shake. Yep. We got Saucepan. He says, GMT, you have toxic followers. I mean, that's one thing about the Black Manosphere, you know. We specialize in dysfunctional relationships. So there's going to be a lot of toxicity within the chat room. You know, some people hate BWs and all they want is BW hate. And there's people that hate BMs and Dusties, and they got all this hate for Dusties, and that's what they're gonna talk about. But we're gonna go ahead and deal with it anyway. We're gonna give them that real information. We need people to support this show. Hit the Cash App. That's $ the Grandmaster Troll. But back to the portfolio real quick. Everybody knows about Ethereum. I need more Ethereum because I can't gain any interest through Voyager yet because I haven't met the threshold. Bitcoin, we all know about Bitcoin, fourth biggest. We got Polkadot. The reason I like Polkadot is VGX pays 12% interest. And at Polkadot's height, it reached all the way to $55. If I could own 100 Polkadot at 12%, that means each month I will get one Polkadot. And if Polkadot goes to, at its height was at 55, it could get to $75, $85. Well, that's going to be a nice passive income stream for me. We all know about Cardano and smart contracts. That's the fifth biggest. We all know about XRP. We got the Logic Sphere. He says, follow the upcoming crypto regulations and policies. See, the thing about the upcoming regulations and policies, Logic Sphere, is they're always upcoming. Then when they come up with new regulations and policies, they change the regulations and policies. Only thing I know is I'm going to accumulate as much crypto as I can, and we're going to see what happens. Candy says, where can I get cheap other than crypto.com? You could get it on a number of places. You could get it, let me check my phone real quick. You can get it on Voyager. In fact, I have a referral link in the description where if you buy like $100 worth of Bitcoin, you get $25 worth of free Bitcoin. And I get $25 worth of free Bitcoin, but nobody uses referral links in Black YouTube. You could get it on Coinbase, but if you listen to people like the Logic Sphere, he says don't use an exchange for whatever reason. Where else could you get it? You could get it on Atomic Wallet. You could get it on KuCoin, I think. Let's see. You could get it on Binance, but that's another exchange. But there's a whole different places where you could get Shiba Inu and other cryptos. You could just go on YouTube. Where can I get SHIB? What's the best place? You want to see what you want to use a platform that could give you the best price, that could give you the least amount of fees, that gives you access to trade and exchange that SHIB without all the extra fees, basically. But back to the portfolio, Dogecoin. Boy, do I hate Dogecoin. My average price is what, 27 cents. It's sitting at 15 cents, and I don't see Dogecoin going up or down because there's a unlimited supply of Dogecoin, and that was a bad investment. And I would love to sell Dogecoin, but I don't want to sell it at the loss because I know the minute I sell Dogecoin is the minute it's going to take off. So I own Stellar, EOS, I own BitTorrent. I hate EOS, I hate BitTorrent. BitTorrent just did a token swap for whatever reason, and now I gotta research the token swap. I got Digibyte. I like Digibyte. I'm excited for Decentraland in the sandbox. You know, gotta get into the metaverse. I'm just looking for a better price to get in on the metaverse. Atomic Wallet coin is another exchange coin. I like owning exchange coins because I want to see what these different exchanges are going to do. Tailcoin, I want to say that the Logic Sphere told me about Tailcoin way back when. So I bought a couple of thousand Tailcoins just to see what's going to happen. Polygon Matic, I want to buy more of that. And then the Graph and AMP, those were just free coins I got on Coinbase for watching their tutorial videos, and I put in an extra $20 just to see what happened. But what I want to do with my portfolio, I always want to have Bitcoin and Ethereum in the top 5. I would love for Polkadot, Cardano, XRP, Decentraland, Sandbox, and Polygon. I would like those cryptos along with VGX to be my top holders. I'm not buying any more SHIB because when you buy $100 worth of SHIB and you get millions and you get multiple millions of it, and then now when you try and buy $100 of SHIB, you are lucky if you get 2 million of them. I just find it as a bad price. Somebody said FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Manco said I had some Digibyte. He sold it all. Now why did you sell your Digibyte? Did you not like it? Did you want to move money into a different coin? Did you need the money to pay the bills? Why did you sell your Digibyte? So when I look at my portfolio here, the number that's the least important is the equity value. Whenever you invest in any stock, the number you want to focus on the least is the equity value, because as you can see, that number constantly moves throughout the day. And if you let your emotions get attached to that equity value number, that's when that FUD, that fear, uncertainty, and doubt will kick in, and that's when you start making bad trades and start making bad decisions. The most important number is how much of each you own, and you try to own that number at a lower buy price. Those are the numbers that are important. If I could own 1,000 VGX tokens and I could get them at right now just above $2, and if I could get 1,000 of them, and if I believe that VGX could get the $5, if it could get the $18, that number is going to be important, not the equity number, because the more you have, would you rather have, let's see, would you rather have 2 Bitcoins at $30,000, or would you rather have 500 Bitcoins when it was at $25? 2 Bitcoins at $30,000, that gives you $60,000 in equity. Or would you rather have 500 Bitcoins when it was $25? Or let's say 100 Bitcoins when it was at $100. I would rather take the 100 Bitcoins at $100, because now I could stake that Bitcoin. I could earn some serious interest, some serious passive income on that Bitcoin. I could take that Bitcoin and leverage that Bitcoin. So the most important number is how much of each holding, and we're looking to accumulate more and more tokens, more and more coins. That's the one of the big important things about crypto, because it's gonna one day may be up 20%, then next week is down 30%, then the next week is up 20%, and then it's back down 20%. Bitcoin constantly goes up and down, up and down, up and down. But you gotta withstand the storm when it crashes to not sell it, and then when it crashes, that's when you are looking to buy more. Because if you like Bitcoin at 40,000, if you like Bitcoin at 50,000, well then you have to love Bitcoin at 30,000, and that's when you gotta load the boat. And if it goes down to 25,000, well that's great, because you're buying this great asset that you think is going to be worth 100,000, 200,000, whatever valuation you think it can reach, and you can buy more of it at a lower price. Somebody said check my cash app. Let's see who supported the show. Okay, we got some supporters here. Who did we have come through? Oh, we had a number of people come through. We had Sequoia L come through. Says, for teach these broke bum ass Negroes something. Gotta be able to teach them something. And then we have Ebony Bishop says, for been waiting on this stream. Taking too many crypto. Okay, so we had, I'm trying to read the name, the Cash App name. K-Ben Japan 24 coming through, 25 on the Cash App. Thank you, man. I find that real interesting that it's BW supporting the financial talks, but when you look at the BMs, will they support talk about stocks and cryptos based on the numbers? Based on the numbers, it's going to be the BWs who support over the BMs, but prove me if I'm wrong. We're going on an hour and 45 minutes. Support the show. Hit the like button. Hit the Cash App. We got 35 people watching. So somebody wanted to talk about dividend stocks. Dividend stocks. So I'm going to go ahead and leave crypto because I need a break from crypto. I want to talk about dividend stocks. Dividend stocks. Because they too offer passive income as well. And then unlike most stocks, dividends are kind of predictable, because the dividend, which is the profits that the company pays out to the shareholders, you could look at the balance sheet and you could tell if the dividend is going to be safe, if they're going to cut the dividend or even increase the dividend. And that gives some value to the stocks. And dividend stocks hold their value during market crashes, as opposed to growth stocks and value stocks and other more speculative stocks as well. So we're going to talk about dividend stocks. Let's see. So what are some of the dividend stocks you guys are invested in? I guess I'll pull up my dividend stocks. I use Robinhood. To trade some of that holds some of my portfolio, not all, but some. So some of the dividend stocks I own, if I pull it up right here. So all the stocks are owned right here. I got Tattooed Chef. I gotta talk about Tattooed Chef. I got the Cloud ETF. That's a ETF stock, not a dividend stock. But these right here, everything below it, NRZ, new residentials, Women Technologies, formerly known as CenturyLink, NLY, Anoli Capital, that's a mortgage REIT. NRG is a mortgage REIT. Lumen Technologies, like I said, which was formerly known as CenturyLink before they changed their name, is a telecommunications company. We got Kimco, that is a real estate investment trust. And the real estate that they own are the open air shopping centers that you shop at. EPD Enterprise is a gas company. Prospect is a mortgage REIT. Ontario Midstreams is an energy company. And I should own one more. Let me click on it. Didn't want to do that. All of a sudden it doesn't want to move. There we go. And the last one is good. Gladstones is another real estate investment trust which specializes in industrialized warehouses, stuff like that. But I'm gonna go ahead and break down dividend stocks and the different kinds of dividend stocks that there are. Somebody said I sold OPK. Somebody picked up GE, General Electronics. What? Why GE of all stocks? But somebody said ECC and AG&C. I used to own ECC. Was that ECC? I definitely know I own AG&C. Didn't they cut their dividend? Didn't AG&C cut their dividend? I could have sworn A&G cut their dividend. Let me see if they cut their dividend. I could have sworn they cut their dividend because I was looking to get back and I saw that the dividend got cut. Let's see if they cut the dividend or not. Okay, they haven't cut their dividend yet. It's still going strong. I might have to get back in. But I used to own AG&C. Oh, he said Frontier. Okay, yeah, I was supposed to look at Frontier, but I'm gonna break down some of the dividend stocks. Now you got growth dividend stocks and you got REITs which must pay out 90%, so their dividend is going to be bigger, but since they're paying out more profits, they can't put as much money back in the business, so they can't grow the business. So since they can't grow the business because they're paying out their profits to the shareholders, the price of that stock won't move up in a big way like a growth dividend. So a growth dividend is something like Microsoft, something like Clorox. Another growth dividend will be something like McDonald's. What else is out there? Apple, you could consider a growth dividend. Basically, a company that pays a dividend, but the dividend is so small that it doesn't affect the growth making abilities of said business, so they're able to grow their business, but they do pay a dividend. Then you got some dividends that they pay a lot, and since they pay a lot, if they have a bad year, if they're not as profitable, if they start taking losses, well then they have to cut their dividend. Some companies pay dividends on a quarterly basis, semi-annually. You even got dividends that pay monthly. There's even a dividend, I think, thank God, TGIF, they pay a dividend every Friday. So every Friday you get a dividend by owning the stock. So depending on what you want to do with dividends, how to pick a good dividend company, how do you pick a good, what's the best dividend company out there that I can think of? Somebody name me a good dividend company. Let's see if I can find one. Okay, I'm going to talk about Kimberly and Clark. I'm going to talk about that stock real quick because that's one of the good dividends paying companies, and what makes it a good dividend company is when we look at the paperwork. God gotta look at the paperwork. You can see we go to the top. You got the declare date, so that's the date that they're going to play, that they declare they're going to pay a dividend for that quarter or that year or whatever time frame that they specify. The ex dividend date, it says right here, it's March 2nd. So if you own this dividend March 1st, you're entitled to the dividend payment. If you buy the stock on the day it goes ex dividend, you will not get that dividend because you have to own the stock through the closing day on the day prior to get that dividend. The record date, that's the date where you actually see that you're going to be issued a payment for owning that stock through the ex-dividend date. The pay date is the day you get paid the dividend, and the frequency quarterly, so every 3 months you're going to get that dividend, and then you get the amount. If that makes sense to people. Might have to get something to drink real quick. But then what makes this a good dividend stock, a good growth dividend stock, because they continually increase the dividend each year. So we go back and we're looking at the stock back all the way in 99, the dividend was 25, and in 2000 they increased it, and it looks like every year they pretty much increase the dividend. And if a company is able to increase the dividend over a certain amount of time, they become a dividend aristocrat. And if they can keep increasing the dividend, they get called something like a dividend king or something like that, because they're increasing the dividend. So you can see Kimberly-Clark is a good dividend company because they increase the dividend each year, because they're able to not only be profitable, but they're more profitable on a year in and year out basis, and this gives them the ability to not only increase the dividend, but if we even look at the stock price goes up. So if I look at the max, imagine buying this stock all the way back in 1990 when it was $12 a share. We gotta do some math. Imagine buying this stock when it was $12 a share. So when this stock was $12 a share, let's just say you bought 100 shares and you held it from 1990 all the way until now. So that means you spent $1,200 on shares. So that $1,200 that you spent all the way back in 1990, if we do 100 times, let's just do 132. That $1,200 is now $13,200. But remember, you were getting paid a dividend. So that means for each 100 shares that you had, when we go back to the dividend and the dividend history, let's look at 2021. You got a dividend on those 100 shares at $1.14. You made $114 that year. And then the year prior, you made $107, then $103, and then in 2018, you made $100. So each year that this company paid a dividend since 1990, you were getting paid good money. And that's just buying 100 shares. Now imagine when this stock IPO, go back to the summary. look at the max summary, and you were buying, let's say your name is the master teacher, and from 1990 all the way up until now, you were buying this stock, and you accumulated over that 30-year period, you accumulated 500,000 shares of Kimberly Clark. Well, when you do 500,000 times $1.14 now, you're getting $570,000 because you bought this stock over the lifetime this company has been involved. So you can make yourself some good passive income if you're able to buy and hold these stocks. We got Jalen, he says he's gone. He can't take the knowledge. Somebody said VOO, VSTAX, VGT, and VNN, VTI. Those are some good ETFs to get in. I guess I'll pull up the VOO real quick. So you got the Vanguard S&P 500. It's at 420. This one started in 2010 at $180. So over that 10 to 11 years, if you would have bought it at 100, you would almost have 4x your money. I believe the VEO pays a dividend as well. So you look at the dividend history. Yep, you also get a dividend, and this dividend of the VEO has also increased, although it did decrease in 2015 from 98 cents. It dropped back to 90, and then it went back up. So every now and then, the dividend will get cut, but just by a little bit, and it always seems to increase. And then since VOO is an ETF, you can see what's actually the stocks in the VOO. The top 10 holdings are Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Alphabet, Tesla, Google, which is the Alphabet A, and then their Class C stock, Meta Platforms, formerly known as Facebook, Nvidia, Berkshire, Untitled Health Groups, and there's other holdings as well. There's 510 stocks within this ETF, within this fund, so it's a good way to diversify. So the reason why you would want to buy an ETF with all these holdings, let's say you bought Facebook stock recently, and then Facebook stock reports bad earnings, and then Facebook stock drops 25% like it did. Let's say if you had $1 million in Facebook stock, you lose 25%. Your equity value is now at $750,000. And if you're an old man like BGS and you think you're gonna retire and you put all your money into Facebook, well, instead of having $1 million to retire on, now you have $750,000, as opposed you put it into VOO, which has Facebook, since Facebook only makes up 5% or 3% of the fund. But Facebook drops 25%. Instead of you losing 25%, you may only lose 0.9, 0.8% of your portfolio, because you're well diversified and your risk has been mitigated for being in an ETF. So that's why people go with VOO. But then you got some people like my man, was that Wake and Bake who was telling me about Frontier stock? Let's see if I can look up Frontier stock real quick. Let me see if I can work my chat real quick. Why won't it go up? Okay, it's not working for some reason. Let's go back to here. Let's look up Frontier stock. See if we could break down Frontier stock. You said Frontier was $9, so there must be a different Frontier. Must be a different Frontier. He said it was $9. Let's see. Can you give me a ticker symbol? Let's see. Okay, here we go. Frontier Acquisition Corporation. Let's see this $9 stock right here. What has it done? Okay, so this company just IPO'd last year. What's that? May 3rd, the 5th month? January, February, March, April, May. Yeah, May 3rd, it IPO'd at $10.24. Let me look at this stock on my phone in Robinhood because it'll tell me how good of an IPO it actually had. So the things about IPOs is sometimes the IPO do good. It may IPO at $15 and then within that first day it may jump up to $30, may jump up to $45, and a lot of people made money. In particular, the people who started the company and had the initial shares. When companies IPO, not all shares are made immediately available to the public. Even though with Robinhood, when stocks do IPO, they're giving you an opportunity to get in on the IPO when it goes public. But I'm not exactly sure how that works because I have yet to buy a company when it IPOs, because most of the time when a company IPOs, it goes down. So I'm looking at it on my Robinhood app. It IPO'd at $9.86. And within that first week of it IPOing, it got as high as $10.24. And ever since then, it's been on a slight decline. But considering the market crash we had in January, is pretty much been even at the same price, with the low being around, let's see, the 52-week low is $9.71. Now I gotta see what the company is about because I have no idea what this company is. Frontier Acquisitions Corp is a blank check company which engages in seeking a merger, share exchange, asset acquisition, share purchase, reorganization, or similar business combination with one or more businesses. The company was founded on January 15, 2021 and is headquartered in New York. So that's what the company does, a kind of rough explanation about it. So it acquires and merges and purchases and reorganizes similar businesses with one or more business or entities. Okay. So I kind of get it, but it's kind of hard to explain that business model. But you got the financials. Always got to look at the financials. You got the income statement, balance sheet, and cash flow. So this will tell you basically what these financial statements tell you is how much these companies are worth. What do their revenues look like? What do their expenses look like? How much cash they have on the balance sheet, how much cash flow they have, how much debt a particular company might have, and you can really see the financial health of the company, because one of the reasons stocks goes up is, of course, people buying and selling the stock, so what people think of the stock, and then, of course, the financials of the company, because if you have bad financials, if people think you're going bankrupt, if they see all this debt and you don't have the cash flow to pay that debt and you have to go in bankrupt, well then people are going to start selling your stock and the value of that company is going to go down and the stock price is going to go down. So that's how we explain that in layman's terms. But we look at the income statement. See, we don't have any information on the income statement. No income statement on the cash flow. So with that said, since we don't have information on that on this site, another way to look at companies is, of course, you Google these companies and you look at their investment relations page. And there's been a number of companies that I've invested in where I go and look at their investment relations page. So you just go over to their company. Let's see if they have it on their website anywhere. To find information about them, and I'm on this one right here. Okay. Okay, so there's some information. Okay, so we'll go ahead and we'll do a overview of this company. Hold on. What I really want to do is drop the link. I gotta drop the link. Can my boy Wake and Bake? Who say, yeah, that's my boy Wake and Bake. I want to see. I'm gonna ask Wake and Bake some questions. These is all questions we gotta ask ourselves when we invest in a company. And I want to see if Wake and Bake, I want to see did he do research on this company, because you've got to do research on your company. So with that said, let's see, can't even get this to work. Let me open up my stream on my cell phone real quick so I can follow the chat. I wanna ask Wake and Bake some questions about the company he invested in. So with that said, okay, drop it. I guess I'll pin it to the top. And so if anybody want to hit the link and ask me a question about certain stocks, you're more than welcome and willing to come on the show and talk stocks with your boy GMT. But questions I would ask or Wake and Bake about this stock Frontier, I would ask him who's the CEO and who's on the board. And what are their background informations? That's right. You always gotta pay attention to the background information. So when we go to their website, this is their website right here. Now, I don't know about you, Wake and Bake, but when I come to a so-called $1 million company, let me pull up my phone. This is supposed to be a company, Frontier Cooperation, Frontier Acquisitions. We are talking about a market cap of $286 million. When you go to their website, is this a website of a $250 million business? I mean, we just gotta be honest. When I came onto this website, I wasn't too impressed. I'm not sure what they do. It says Frontier is on the hunt for pioneering companies that are breaking new ground in human longevity. Looks like they got some chart right here that a kindergartner drew up and they just threw it up there. So the co-chairman is David Sinclair and Peter Attia. CEO is Christian Angermayer and co-presidents Rick Gerson and Ryan Corey. You go and look at the team. These are this is the board of the company right here. These are the people who was leading the way to make the vision of this company come true right here. There's a little contact us, so let's see. So if you want to contact them and do business, you got to contact this company through email. Let's see. We're gonna go ahead and contact these people through email. Put that right there. We're gonna write this board. Hold on. We are gonna give this board a message because we want to see how thorough they are. We want to see how thorough these people are. Let's see. I would love to interview you on my YouTube channel so that you can explain your business to a broader audience and connect with the people. My YouTube channel is Life of a Grandmaster Troll. Now maybe he'll respond, maybe he won't, but we'll see how thorough he is. So we gotta put more. Look at that. There was an error trying to send your message. Please try again. So their box doesn't work. So I would actually have to send an email to this address right here. In which, can I copy it? I'll copy it for now. And I'll be sure to send them an address. But an email. But that's what this company is set up. So this is the more important part right here. So when you go to news and events, this is where you can find information about their financials and filings. Let's see, they got a corporate governance. They got 8Ks, maybe a 10Q in there. They even got the public offering sheets right here. Let's see. Let's go to the latest one, February 18th. Ooh, they got a 300 page right here. I ain't got time to read no 300 pages real quick. Let's see. That's just public offering stuff. I want to see something on the balance sheet. I don't think they had any. They haven't had an earnings call yet. But I would love to ask. I would love to ask Awake and Bake. What made you invest in this company? What is this company's long-term goal? What are they looking to accomplish? What is their business model? How do they acquire, merge, and do acquisitions with other businesses? These questions I would be asking, and I would be looking for the answers for. I'm not. Somebody hit the StreamYard. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and let you up real quick. You got somebody who hit the StreamYard link. I didn't have my headphones on, so I didn't even see. I didn't even see. Let me bring this up. Okay, we got Chaotic Truth live in on the channel. Tell us what's on your mind when it comes to stocks and crypto.
Sure. I don't dabble with cryptocurrency,
Mm-hmm.
but I do dabble with stocks. I like to take a walk in the jungle. I've been doing it for 2 years now, so I dabble with stock options. I don't purchase common shares. I don't have a need for it. That's more, to be honest with you, common shares are more for responsible people
Mm-hmm.
who have a long term perspective of finances. I'm not gonna lie to you. There have been days where I've bought a contract and have let's say I bought a Amazon contract that closes the next day, which is Friday. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
you shouldn't buy a weekly. It's called a weekly. I don't know if you do stock options, right, Grandmaster Troll?
I haven't done stock options, but
Okay.
on Robinhood, what they let you do is buy like a make
Yeah.
believe contract, and you can see how that happens
Yeah.
over time. So there's a company called
Yeah.
Tattoo Chef that I
Okay.
bought a fake option, but it's a long term outlook.
Yeah. So yeah, I do stock options, and sometimes I bought weekly contracts that expire the next day. I've made a killing off of Amazon a few times. Like, let's say you buy $100 or $200 contract that expires way out of that the strike price is way out.
Mm-hmm.
If Amazon can move 300 points in one day, so if that moves, even if it doesn't even get close to the strike price, that $100 or $200 contract can be $2,000, and then you
Mm-hmm.
just sell it right there in the morning, or you sell it right before, maybe 2 o'clock or something, because the more you keep it, the more the contract loses time value, and it also loses intrinsic value. But yeah, I do stock options, man. But I would suggest, if anybody dabbles or wants to do stock options, definitely get into purchasing contracts that are like a year out. But I wanted to broach your title also as well. Is that all right?
Yep, that's fine.
Yeah. I don't know how brutally honest I can be over here, but hopefully I can be.
Oh,
Hopefully your name.
we all about being brutally honest over here.
Oh, okay. Well, we as a people, and I mean African people, we're all African. Whether I don't know what you believe, but I believe we're all Africans. Throughout the diaspora, we have a crab in the barrel mentality. And I've seen it in corporate America, I've seen it in the education field, I've seen it so many places. And black, older black men, because that's what your title's about, right?
Mm-hmm.
The reason why they haven't said anything to younger black men about stock options or stocks or real estate, I would say maybe half of that reason is because they never were successful in those fields at all, or did not know about them. And I would say the other half is they don't want to compete with you. Older black men that I've encountered throughout my life, I never have met really a good old black man. Besides my father, of course, my father, is a great man to me. He's almost 90 now, but generally, I mean, out of that, I've never really met a good old black man. And I think with older black men, well, not even I think, I've observed and experienced, it's like a hatred for younger black men. Um, and they tend to undermine under younger black men, and that's what I've experienced in all facets of life. Um, and I've worked all over. I've done business, and even when I quit my job teaching, the support that I got didn't come from older black men, despite the fact that I wanted it to come from older black men.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of doing business together, it came from Jews, it came from whites, and it came easily. A lot of times dealing with older black men that I did do or dealt with business, they would ask stupid ass questions like, "Oh, what's your business model? What's your business plan?" What, 1,000 questioning to death. And the thing is, with other groups of people, do they want to see a plan? Sure, why not? But when it comes to immediate help and all that, black men tend to give you the runaround, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that they don't know any better. That Generation X baby boomer, in my opinion, that's the worst generations. Those two generations are the worst generations of black men, and I think that this has been a problem even before colonialism and slavery. I think that that undermining goes back thousands of years. I don't even think it's new. I think that there is something that is probably ingrained in us. Not all of us have high levels of it, but I think a lot of black men will sit back and have knowledge and will sit back and not tell you anything because they themselves may have not reached a certain level in life that they think they should have been and won't tell you nothing. Whereas other groups of people, what they will want to do is they'll say, you know what, we're going to sacrifice this generation for that generation. And a lot of older black men aren't like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the worst thing that, and sorry for talking your head off, Grandmaster Troll, but thank you, man. And the worst thing that you know, I envision or, is that the black men who are my age or younger become those old black men. And that's why, like, on my platform, I try, a lot of older people, get mad at me, but what I'm saying is the truth. A lot of older black men didn't, they don't open up, they don't create institutions, they don't create anything for themselves to pass down to black men who are younger. They always
Mm-hmm.
have to rely on the white man, even in Africa. Even in Africa, the same thing. The black men there now who are in Africa, they have cursed the next generation of blacks. I'm gonna tell you why. China in 100 years is gonna own half of Africa because we're gonna be indebted to them, and this is because of what black men are doing now. They're letting these Chinese come in and build, and they're not taking over. They're not taking control. So it's the same thing here. We're moving towards crypto, digital currency. We need to learn um, uh, forex works because because we're more of a global market now.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of black men they travel to different countries and won't even tell young black men, currency in this country is this way, currency in this country is this way. So you know a lot of black men like myself, we get flack because we're perceived as Uncle Toms and Uncle Ruckuses, but in actuality we're not. I really believe, and hear me out, that we need to exterminate this gene that we have, this jealousy gene, this crab in the barrel gene, and look towards the future. You know, and we need to build for the future blacks that are coming, not now, but maybe 50 years from now, 100 years from now, 500 years from now, because you're going to need to have a level of understanding like real estate and crypto and stocks. That's going to be the language of the future. You didn't have to know about all that. I mean, it would have been nice to know about stocks in the 80s and the 90s, but you're going to need to know about all those things moving forward. And the fact that older black men don't say anything, it's a level of stupidity, it's a level of ignorance, and it's a level of jealousy. And I think that it could be all equal. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah, I
Well,
don't know. So I hope I didn't go all over the place, talk your head off. But I'm sorry. Go
no, you
ahead.
didn't go all over the place. So I agree with a lot of things you just said, and there's some things I want to give you pushback on.
Sure.
But the first question I want to ask you: if you had to pick up your phone right now and call a black man that was a millionaire, who owned $1 million home,
Mhm.
who wanted to be at the who's at the level that you're at or wanted to be at, how many of those men in your phone can you call and have a conversation and that you know that has those things that you want to have?
So I,
Now,
I know two black millionaires. Yes.
so out of all the black men that you encountered in your life, you
Hmm.
only know and can verify
Two.
two.
Yep.
Do you?
And the one is only a millionaire because of assets, but the other
Mm-hmm.
one is a liquid millionaire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you can only call two, but that doesn't mean that there's only two black men that you know that are millionaires. There could be millionaires that you
It's a lot
encounter
of black
that you don't
millionaires.
know.
Yeah, there's a lot of black millionaires, but that doesn't mean that they. And I'm assuming you're gonna say something about doing business with them.
This not really about doing business with them, but if you wanted to ask for advice, you could only ask two people. As to a point where you could ask a plethora of
And
people.
right. And so the thing is that I wouldn't even ask them for advice per se, because older black men tend to have this very, very condescending, almost disrespectful uh, way of talking to you
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to a lot of things like business or anything like that. Because again, they think that, they think that you're encroaching on their territory. So they're not, a lot of times, they're not even in the business to even kick knowledge to you or anything like that, or wanting to do business with you, because they themselves are so lucky. I mean, not lucky. They themselves are so intrigued with the fact of where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's also the case. But then there's been cases in my life because I referee, and
Yeah.
I come across other black men who
Hmm.
ref in the NBA, who ref D1, who ref higher levels of college. And when
Yeah.
I ask them for advice about how to get to certain levels, they have no problem telling me what it takes to get to those high levels. And some of them have mentored me and given me the information to get to those higher levels. So in my opinion, I feel if somebody has the expertise in that situation, he's more able to help. When it comes to finances, if somebody has a 401k or has a financial advisor who's advising them, it's going to be hard for him to pass on that information because his success came from an outside entity. Well, like kind of how you were saying that you have to go outside to a different culture to get what you want to get to where you're going. And when it comes to
Hmm.
finances, 401ks, ROAs, you have to go to those outside places. So he probably can't give you that first-hand knowledge, but he could probably refer you to somebody else and maybe help you out that way.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, there's only been a handful of blacks in this country that actually wanted to build and do for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, the fact that black men don't even control the institutions in this country, and in Africa, you know, other than Nigeria, maybe Ghana, there are really no other places where there is, institutions of scale for, black men to have that type of influence over the populace of younger blacks. So it's really tricky and hard. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm not sitting here trying to bash older black men, but
Mm-hmm.
more than likely, you're pretty much wasting your time when you go to an older black man. Unfortunately,
Okay.
yeah, that's not. I mean, truth be told, the only other than your father, most older black men, they're not talking about shit. But that's just what I've experienced.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So why do people not talk about financial stuff more as opposed to they could tell you about vacation, they could tell you about the restaurant that has the best steaks,
Can I tell you?
they could tell you about females, go ahead, but they won't
Well,
talk about.
because we tend to forget that these men who are 50 plus, 60 plus, 70 plus, at one point were 19. At one point they were 25. At one point they were 30. And just because they have great hair and they have crow's feet doesn't mean that their mindset is not. I mean, these people are, a lot of them are fools, and they are functioning off of their primal instinct even at 60. Sex, drugs and alcohol, going out. So yeah, they sit there, an old black man, he'll tell you about some gators he bought. He'll tell you about Cadillac he bought from the white man. But generally, I hate to say it, man, they're not really talking about anything. And this goes even with professional old black men. This goes with I mean, so many, man, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah, yeah.
They're not talking about anything. They're just as ignorant as the young. I hate to say it, but some of them are just as ignorant as some young black men. You know.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Yeah.
let me ask you this question as a kind of
Hmm.
a small change of pace, because
Sure.
you said you buy options, so you like to live on the wild side. You know, you're not about
Yeah.
long term investing. So I gotta
Yeah.
ask you, what gives you the confidence to put that option in and to hit that submit button, and then whether if you make a lot of money or lose a lot of money? What gives you the confidence? Because
Well.
there's got to be a certain knowledge that you
Yeah.
sought out that gave you the confidence to put your
Yeah.
hard-earned money on the line.
Yeah. Well, to be completely honest with you, you can look this up. Most people become wealthy trading options. And the wealthiest people on the planet, like Warren Buffett, he's one of the biggest options traders. So the thing is that, okay, what if I didn't do options? You know, yeah, I could keep the little money that I have, the few thousand that I have on deck, or could that few thousand be 50,000 in one day? And so that's the beauty of options. That's the beauty of just jumping into an options contract, because that $3,000 that you're holding, what are you really going to do with it? Or do you want to get into an options play and that 3,000 can become $10,000 in a week? Is it risky? Yeah, you may lose your option premium, sure. Or you may lose some of it and sell it. So if you bought a $3,000 contract, it may lose $400 or $500. And you can just sell it and keep your 2,500. But what if the stock, what if the strike price, or what if the stock hits your strike price? You get $10,000, $20,000 off of a $3,000 play.
Mhm. So
Yeah.
tell me and the people in the chat how options work. Let's say Apple's trading at $100, and you wanted to put an option. It would give you a strike price of what?
So Apple right now is trading at $174 a share.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you, as the retail investor, you believe that Apple will hit $200 a share by April 1st, assuming April 1st is a Friday. That contract that you purchase, it may cost $300. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
you are controlling shares. You don't own the shares; you're controlling them. That's the difference between options and common shares. So that $300 contract, you're assuming that Apple will hit 200. Let's say between now and March, Apple gets to 215. Not only have you hit your strike price, which is 200, you've exceeded the strike price and you still have time value on the contract. So somebody's going to purchase that contract. That contract can sell for, if you bought it for 300, it might sell for $2,000, 3,000, $4,000,
Mm-hmm.
because that contract is locked. So the price of Apple is still locked. So somebody will buy that contract, and every stock within that contract will be what the price is the day that you bought it. So it's 174 now. But if it's trading at 215, that means you can do what with it? If you actually bought the contract, and all the stock in it,
You could sell at strike price, or
you could sell it at the price that it's locked in. So
yeah.
it's locked in at 174.
Okay.
So yeah, you already hit your strike price,
Mm-hmm.
but the stock within the contract is still locked in at 174.
Mm-hmm.
So you can buy every single share. So generally, what larger firms do is that they buy the contracts from retail traders like you and I. And
Mm-hmm.
every stock in there is locked in. So if Apple was at 215, yeah, that's 215 on the open market. But that contract has locked every Apple share in it, which is 100. So it's at 174. So you can sell all of those shares at 215 and profiting from 215 minus 174, whatever the difference is, and that's how you get your money.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then if it goes down the other way, say it falls to 150, and you sell it, you're just selling it at 174, but you lose the difference.
No, if okay, so you have time, so you have an expiration date,
Mm-hmm.
which is April 1st, like I said.
Mm-hmm.
If it doesn't get to a certain price, the contract, the $300 that you spent for the contract, you can lose the $300. That's it,
Mm-hmm.
or you can lose $50 on the 300 or something. So you're not gaining any money from the premium that you paid for it.
I'm having a hard time following. So
Yeah, options are very complicated.
yeah,
Listen, I've
yeah.
been studying options for years, and I'm telling you, it's very complicated.
Okay.
But but the more you get into it, trust me, you'll be good. It's real. I mean, and you need a TD Ameritrade or E Trade. You can't trade options on Robinhood.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah.
Well, that's good. So why have you gotten the crypto? You seen all these people making all this money? They buying Lambos, Ferraris, big houses.
Well, I mean, don't let all of that fool you. But I'm just not into crypto.
Mm-hmm.
Crypto. I have a few friends who own a little bit of Bitcoin. Parts of Bitcoin. But don't let all that fool you with those cars and all that too. I mean, a lot of times it's rented. A lot of times the homes are rented. A Lamborghini costs $400,000. So even if you did hit it big, let's say you had $1 million with Bitcoin, you're not gonna buy a Lamborghini.
Mm-hmm.
You're just not a Lamborghini. I mean, it will cost you $1 million over its lifetime to maintain the damn car. So a lot of times, people, they're renting cars and stuff like that. A lot of times people they haven't made enough money to afford a Lamborghini. If you made $3 million, you're not buying a Lamborghini. You could buy a used one with, let's say 10,000 miles on it. It may cost you 75, 80, 90, but you're not buying a 2020 Huracan, a 2021 Huracan, or whatever models they have right now, or Aventador, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I put my channel name in the private chat, okay?
Okay.
Hey man, thanks man for letting me up on the panel, man.
No problem, man. It was good having you on.
Yeah, and my email is also attached to the page. So thanks, man. Have a good one. Peace.
All right, you too. I'm gonna check you out.
Absolutely. Yep.
So that was Chaotic Truth Live coming up here, dropping some jewels about options. Definitely gotta learn more about options. Let's see, what do we got going on in the chat? Somebody said, I'm not concerned about being rich. GMT asked him if someone can invest with him. Let's see, he dropped his channel. Let's check him out. Oh, he dropped the link. Okay. Okay, so it looks like he has a scheduled live stream coming up. Racism in America. Is the community guilty of crying wolf? Chaotic True. Let's see, he's got 1,000 subscribers. Monetize. Okay. Go ahead and subscribe. Hit the bell. Okay, so he's got a pretty good YouTube channel, trying to grow it, get some views. Definitely check him out. Maybe he'll join the panel. I'm going to salute him and wish him luck in the YouTube business. Let's see, somebody says worthless contracts expire all the time. Let's see if I could give him a rant. Okay, I could mod him up. It was good having, a good conversation without all that yelling and screaming. So it was definitely good having him up on the panel. Maybe I'll talk more about stocks more often. Where was I before? Yep, we were talking about Frontier. We were talking about Frontier Acquisitions Company. We were looking for financial since they just IPO. There wasn't much to show, so it was really hard to break down that company. But let's check out the chat room. Any more questions? Does something want me to break down a stock or whatever to talk about? And somebody wants to talk about Trinity time travels. Somebody says retail investors buy options from brokers and lose majorly. Somebody said the maintenance alone on them supercars will get them in trouble. Hurry up and buy says the key to options is to buy cheap and early and with a 1 to 2 point strike with 2 to 3 weeks intrinsic time left. Okay. Then you can sell at their price or keep and sell it before it expires. I'm definitely looking to learn options. I just haven't felt comfortable. So I've been buying the fake options on Robinhood and see how it's going. I bought one super long term, a 4-year outlook, but really haven't been looking to put real money in the options. But I'll definitely check out Chaotic Truth live. I mean, if he could do a live stream where he breaks down how to buy options and all the ins and outs to it, I would definitely watch. And always looking to gain more knowledge. Something I could use for the channel, but it looks like it's about that time. May go live later on today, but I gotta go out and go to work. Definitely want to go out, go to work, get some more money so I can buy more stocks in crypto. But y'all know who it is. It's your boy, the Grandmaster Troll. Be looking to go live tonight on the super late night and maybe come back in the mornings to talk more cryptos and stocks. Somebody says I invested 300 in Mana crypto 1 year later. It seeded me back 7,500. I took that money and bought some land, a third of an acre. Okay, so hurry up and buy. Took his $300 in Mana back before it blew up. Let me pull up Mana real quick. Let me pull up Decentraland because it's a crypto I own. Not much. Because when these cryptos take off, it's hard to find a fair valuation for it. So if he bought Mana 1 year ago, we'll pull up the chart. Decentraland Mana is at 337 right now. Let's look at the 1 year chart. So he probably bought it somewhere when it was at 28 cents. Or let's just call it 30 cents to keep it a buck. So if he bought 300, if he bought 300 at 30 cents, why don't my calculator want to work? That would give him what, about 100 of them? And if he sold 100 at the top, so 547, okay. He made himself some good money if he sold it at the top. Yeah, but I'm looking at, so I guess the new bottom was right here at 211, so I guess that was the last good buying opportunity. But salute for him. getting rich on man and turning that $300 into a third of an acre. He says, Herb and Boy says, I don't know why people say crypto is fake. Okay, he sold it at $5.15. He says, I don't know why people say crypto is fake. I think the reason why people say crypto is fake is because you can't see it. You know, it's doesn't have a use case. So a stock is different because even though you don't see it, you can see the company and you can see the financials behind it. With crypto, you really don't see the financials behind it, and then you can't hold it. So yes, people are going to have a hard time believing in it. People are definitely going to have a hard time believing in it. He said, and his partner called him crazy. Well, it's hard. It's hard. Before I go, I guess I'll do a video for the Grandmaster Troll Money Show. So give me 1 second so I can break down this stock right here. Because one of the things I like to do, because a lot of people have a hard time, they don't know which stocks to buy, which stocks to get into for a long-term trade. So another trading investment for the long term I like to do is I like to buy companies that I'm actually a customer of. You know, buying stocks of a company that I'm a customer of, that I buy their products and services. So I'm sitting in my room right now, you know. I got an Android phone. Right now I'm streaming on YouTube. Okay, let me mute that real quick. Make that bigger so I can see. So I like to buy shares of companies that I'm a customer of. So M1 Finance, you know. I want to say I got Facebook. I'm always on Facebook, so I gotta buy Facebook or now Meta stock. I think what else I got on the M1 Finance? I got Tesla, Microsoft, so all my laptops, I'm all about Windows, and that's Microsoft. Xbox, that's Microsoft. So you gotta have Microsoft. What else I got there? I got Tesla, even though I don't drive a Tesla, but Tesla's one of the premier vehicle companies at the moment. Apple's one of the premier electronic stores, technology companies at the moment, even though I don't buy iPhones and iPads. It's just not my style, but I can't deny that the money machine that Apple is right now. I also got JP Morgan. I'm not too thrilled on JP Morgan because I don't bank at JP Morgan. I bank at Wells Fargo. I had Wells Fargo stock, but I sold it because I just wanted to put that money into JP Morgan because it was a better bank. I thought about switching over to JP Morgan, going with their banking system, just haven't had the time to switch over all my accounts. Too big of a headache, but I like JP Morgan. But the company I want to talk about, the company I gotta talk about right here is a fairly new company. Let's see if I could pull it up. Let's see if I could pull up their charts. Okay. I gotta talk about one of my favorite companies. I gotta talk about Tattoo Chef. I want to say it may be, if I look here on my portfolio, it's the biggest position I have on Robinhood. Log into my stuff real quick. I don't want people seeing my password. Might end up trying to rob your boy GMT for all of his money. May try and rob GMT for all of his money. I don't want to get robbed. Okay. Not too bad over here. So let's get back over here and pull up the information. So I'm looking at my holdings here. Okay, so it appears to be okay. Yeah, my second biggest holding in terms of stocks is Tattoo Chef. So we're gonna break that down. We're gonna break down Tattoo Chef. What is Tattoo Chef and how they make their money? So Tattoo Chef Incorporated is a plant-based food company that produces and sells a portfolio of frozen foods. It supplies plant-based products to retailers in the United States. The company offers ready-to-cook bowls, zucchini spirals, rice cauliflower smoothie bowls, cauliflower crust pizza, and plant-based burgers. Its products are available in private label and Tattoo Chef brand names in the frozen food sections of retail food stores as of December 31st, 2020. It operated 4,300 retail outlets as well as offers its products through the e-commerce channel. Tattoo Chef is headquartered in Paramount, California. That's right. Tattoo Chef is a food company. And if you give me 1 second, I'm going to run to my freezer and show you guys one of their products. So give me 1 second. So this is Tattoo Chef right here. They sell products like this. So if you go to your Target right here, you may have seen these little $5 bowls stuff. Pretty good stuff. Somebody, I got a word about this company. They're supposed to be, changing the way, food and stuff is doing. So this company IPO, 2019 or 2020 recently. Let me pull it up just to be sure. On myself when they recently IPO'd, and I'm down about 30 something percent right now. January wasn't a good month. Wasn't good. So there's been time where I've owned this stock where I've been up 25 to 30%, and right now I'm down 27%. Today was a good day for this stock. Today this stock is up 5% right now, so today is actually a good day for the stock. But we're gonna break down Tattoo Chef. I believe the CEO's name is Sam Galetti, something like that. Sam Galetti. But we're gonna pull up this company real quick. So whenever you looking to invest in a company, you gotta understand how the company makes its money and how they're gonna grow. So right now, you can't find Tattoo Chef in every store, but they're in Target, they're in Kroger's, and they're trying to get into other stores. They're plan and they have been growing revenue over the years, and they're just not going to be a company that just sells frozen food. They're going to create other food products, so like chips. They were talking about creating chips, salsa, and get into other brands that are outside of the food company. They're also planning to purchase other brands, so that's how another way a company can make money. They will purchase other food companies, and that's just some of the stuff Tattoo Chef is doing. But like I was saying, another thing you want to do if you're looking for companies to invest in, if you're brand new, invest in companies that you already use. So if you're a Apple user, invest in Apple. You know, if you like wearing Nikes, invest in Nikes. You know, if you're like the cameras I use when I do my film stuff and videography, I like Sony stuff. So why not invest into Sony if I'm going to be buying all their cameras and all their lenses and all of their accessories? You invest into Sony, you know. If you another one of my favorite stocks, another investment play. We gotta talk about Kimco Realty, Realty, I should say, which is a real estate investment trust. So whenever you go to the stores, you know, whenever you go to stores and you go shopping, or you take your girlfriend to the mall, you know, you Kevin Samuels, you know, you out there with Brittany Renner, and you taking women to all these type of malls. Well, another thing you could invest in, as I pull it up right here, why not invest in the buildings in which your favorite stores are leasing? Why not do that? So we're looking at Kimco Realty right here, which is a dividend paying company which pays dividends quarterly. Let's see if we can find their portfolio. Let's see. Okay, so we got their tenants, properties, and lists. So we go to their properties, and these are basically all of the properties, all of the storefronts or open air shopping centers that they own. So when I come down right here and I go to Safeway to do my shopping in San Leandro, let's see, I could come down and see that the stores that I shop at, this company owns. So why not invest in the spot that I visit? I go to this McDonald's right here. I go to this Safeway right here. Occasionally the CVS right here to buy some food. Why not take ownership in some of the stores that I shop at? I believe Mr. J. Morrison said this is how you buy back the block. Well, this is another way to buy back the block. You can invest in your local store. So they own stores throughout the whole country of America. We know Safeway ain't going nowhere, so they're going to keep paying that rent, and it's just going to be a passive income. And as that company makes more and more money, they will then build and develop other shopping centers, and that's how that company grows. And it's a real business model that's easy to understand. Let's see what's going on in the chat right now. Somebody said drop the link. The link is pinned to the top. The link has already been dropped. It's pinned to the top. Let's see if he came on yet. Because I dropped the link one time. It's pinned to the top, and he for some reason doesn't know where the link is at. But I am Modern Day Samson says drop the link. It's pinned right there to the top. Somebody said look up Beyond Meat. People love Beyond Meat. Beyond Meat had a pretty good IPO, but Beyond Meat's been getting beaten down the last number of months. Oh, it's at $62. Beyond Meat is down 64%. Oh, we gotta talk about Beyond Meat. Let's see if I could pull it up on Robinhood. We got to talk about Beyond Meat. What happened to Beyond Meat? Somebody's got to explain to me what's going on. I remember this stock when it IPO'd. It IPO at $25 and it jumped up to $234. And then since then it's gone down. So it dropped back down to 57, then recovered 194, so a little bit below 200, and now it's at 62. So we just gotta keep it real. If this company IPO'd at $25, what is a fair valuation for this company? If it IPO'd at $25 and nothing about this company's guidance or business model changed, and somehow it jumped up to $234, one would say that the valuation of this company is entirely too high. If it IPO'd at $25 and this company didn't destroy numbers, it didn't destroy projections, it just met expectations, maybe a little bit higher, a little bit lower, one could say that $234 is a stupid high valuation. But the reason why you get stupid high valuations is because people see the stock at 25, they see it IPO, it's at 66, then here is at 79, then it gets to 160, and all of a sudden that FOMO kicks in, that fear of missing out kicks in, and all these retail investors is investing in Beyond Meat. Next thing you know, people was buying it up at the 200s, and then they end up getting took for a ride. It drops down to 57. Those people who bought at 200 and something sold it when it was in the 50s and 60s, and then they see it get back up to just up under 200. That FOMO kicks in, they buy more, it dips down, but they realize, hey, I remember when it first dipped, I'm gonna go ahead and hold, and it gets up, back up again, and then it dips all the way back down to 60 something dollars, which is actually that's something I might have to put on the watch list right there. I might have to put that on the watch list. But for those of you that don't know what Beyond Meat is, they basically all of the plant-based meats at fast food restaurants. Well, Beyond Meat is supposed to be now supplying all of that meat. But let's see. The stream is getting a little bit long, and dude who said drop the link, he hasn't hit the link on StreamYard, so I'm gonna go ahead and close this one out. It's your boy GMT. Peace.